Hi, Miss Cat. I don't know where everybody is. You're everybody.
I'm part of everybody too.
Yes. I don't know in terms of where is everybody. I took a unified poll. Everybody answered 8:30 Central Standard was the time that they was the best time in their lives to attend lives. Now this is week 3. I'm sicker than the devil, but I wanted to make sure I was here. Because even if I don't stay long, I'm trying to commit to this no matter what's going on. So I asked the guides, I was like, what do I do here? They're like, get your favorite deck, get the rods, get your reading board. End of story. If somebody needs a reading, we got you. If people don't come before too long, blow them kisses and get the fudge out of there. How are you, Miss Cat? Yeah, it's the right time of the month for that. It's the right time of the month for that. So good. I'm glad you're good. How about you, Joe? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I feel well rested, weirdly.
Why is that
So,
weird?
but I don't know. I think usually most of the time I feel like I could sleep more, but I don't feel that way today. I feel like I've slept enough.
That's good.
So,
That's good. We all need to be getting our nattokinase up in our lives for different reasons.
oh yeah, for sure. I don't know if part of that has to do with the fact that I have Coca-Cola in the house, so
I'm
that
sure.
might
I'm
that
sure it
might be
makes a difference.
something.
If it wasn't in the house here, I mean, I can't eat really, this time of the month, but I've taken like 2 sips of that, and that's pretty good stuff still.
Yeah, I have this strange relationship with caffeine, it seems.
I don't think it's so strange, to be honest with you. I just think you've been really good a lot of the time about dietary stuff that it feels weird to not be perfect or something.
Maybe. Yeah. It's funny since you did that reading where my grandfathers, you talked to my grandfathers,
Hmm.
I could kind of feel more their influence in my thinking, you know. Sometimes I used to wonder where did this stubborn streak come from, or this perfectionism or whatever. And I could kind of feel like, okay, I'm not going to blame it on them entirely, but I feel, okay, there's some influence there, if that
Some
makes any
things are explained.
sense.
It does make sense. I talked to both of them. They made a lot of sense in regards to who you are, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, and they raised to a certain extent, one to a full extent, and one to a certain extent raised your parents.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's amazing, Kat. I mean, you said it made you feel better. I bet you that's a good reward.
Yeah,
Okay.
I need to, well, not need to, but I want to seriously look at keto again, because when I did it, I did feel good, but it's kind of it was becoming a little hard to maintain, especially when the pandemic happened and all of that. So I don't know. I'm thinking about getting back on that wagon and see
I
how
don't
that goes.
I don't know about everyone else, but my city was blasting on the news starting yesterday about the dramatic increase in COVID cases in the hospitals.
Oh,
And I mean, now, granted, those of us that have doctors that are honest with us know that it's been going on relatively consistently, but now that the news is allowed to cover it, that means something's happened. Number one,
right.
they're pushing the next vaccine. It's coming out like yesterday or next week or whatever, right? So, like, they're pushing this booster and it's free. So, I mean, I guess I'm not saying they're making money, at least
Well, they are
not
making
from
money,
us,
but
not
in
just not from
different
us.
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And um, so I don't know, maybe that's why they let them talk about it. But there been an increase, and I like personally know a handful of people that are hospitalized right now. So I don't think it's um, inaccurate, right? Because I mean, it's like 3 this week I know that are hospitalized for COVID. That's not the ones that are saying, "Oh, we have it again in the house," or whatever. Those are the 3 that are hospitalized.
I mean,
Um,
the doctors here have been very quiet about long COVID. They don't want to make any sort of waves about it or anything, but it's real.
yeah, well, I mean, the numbers are nowhere near like what they were, but they're rising. I just think it's important to denote that because I think mask mandates are coming if they can enforce them here anyway.
Hmm.
I can't talk about anywhere else, but I think that I mean, we've never stopped using them because of all the autoimmune in our house and stuff. We've never stopped using, but and honestly, as long as people don't get too hot, I don't see the problem with us doing it, even if there wasn't this problem, because it just has protected us from other things as well that
Yeah.
we didn't used to think about as much. But I think that because they were talking pretty heavily on the news about oh, just remember your sanitation processes that we all got so familiar with, and just remember to keep your distance, and maybe protect yourself in public, right? Like that seems to me like they're tiptoeing
Right. But I
toward.
mean, a lot of the facilities where they had like places to wash your hands and soap and stuff, they've been dismantled here.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know how the numbers are where you are, right? But here, it's those things have been reappearing.
Mm.
In a grocery store, the lines showed back up on the floor. The stay this many feet away from each other lines.
Right. Yeah. No, that's
They
gone.
showed up last week, and I was like, mm, okay, how come the grocery store knows and we don't? Huh? How come the grocery store knows? You haven't done the video chat with company. You got the supplement to learn the official food plan. That's awesome that they at least will help you line it up.
Yeah. Click list groceries. What does that mean? I'm unfamiliar with the term.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Are you talking about like pre-order? was trying to copy and paste what I normally put in the info bar here, and my hands were shaking. I tried it like 25 times, and I couldn't make it happen, so I was just like, screw it. Order online, open trunk. Yeah. Yeah. We've pretty much continued to do as much of that as possible. I think probably we'll be returning to more of that if possible, but with our funding, there's some limitations on some of that in some locations. Other locations, not so much. So
How do you think the return to mask mandates is going to go in your city? You think people,
I don't know. Well, my city, not my state.
right?
My city is a blue spot, one of like a few blue spots in my state. Um, which ordinarily, historically anyway, has been like, okay, I'll put on a mask. It doesn't offend my human rights too much, right? Like it seemed to be, I can't confirm that every single person was on a party line, right? But it seemed to be really strongly one party line or the other. And
Because I mean, since like the 90s with bird flu and stuff in parts of Asia, it's just considered common courtesy if you're ill to wear a mask, you know. So it's not that big a deal, you know. But I don't know, you know, in most parts, if people would just because here, you know, I see problems. People aren't going to make a big deal out of it. They're just not going to do it, you know.
yeah, yeah. You guys protest individually and without, you know, I don't know. I don't know what would happen in a city my size if most people refuse. Like, would they insist on a lockdown? You know what I mean? What happens when there's more than like a sixth of the population disagreeing? I don't know the answer to that.
It's so funny that human nature really hasn't changed because 100 years ago with Spanish flu, they
Yeah,
had the same problems.
yeah. Um, in where I'm from, one of the cities where I'm from, is sort of famous for being one of the few that masked from the beginning and had the lowest death toll of the whole
Right.
entirety of the Spanish flu. But they had some doctor there that just like insisted, right? And somehow got the city behind him. Yeah, our stores never quit either because I mean, I think a lot of people liked it, but my finances changed, and so some stores don't take some of the supplemental help I'm receiving, to be frank. Yeah.
I think it did boost things like delivery culture here, though, because we didn't have a lot of that prior, but now a lot of places they do deliveries. So,
Right. Well, and that's good business for some people. Although you guys did do deliveries, you just do them differently. You have the bread van that comes through, you have the gas truck that comes through, you have, you know what I
right, you
mean?
know, so it's not like delivery on order, but periodically, different times of the week, different things pass round the neighborhood. It's a very old-timey way, I guess. It's like the milkman from, you know, the
Right.
1950s
Iceman.
would
Yeah.
pass, you know, that kind of thing. It never really fully died because we still have these kind of village size settlements, not the big urban sprawl, you know. So so the fishmonger is going to pass on a certain day. The gas man, because we still have a lot of gas stoves here. The bread van, you know, and stuff like that. The ice cream man, you know, and each one of them has a slightly different horn, so you could tell the difference, you know. So that's like an old timey thing that just maintained itself here.
Mhm. I know, but I mean that is delivery culture. It's just different.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's true. But you don't get that typically. Where that went to where places like the groceries. You go to the groceries, you go to the restaurants, and stuff like that. But now, some of them at least, they offer delivery.
Oh yeah, I know. I found them for you. You were like, "We
You
don't do
did.
that here."
Yeah,
I
I
was like, "I
know.
bet you do now."
Yeah, you certainly surprised me. I
All
mean,
those kids you were teaching tech to were creating things.
well, I would like to blame it on the younger ones and take some credit, but no, it's their grandparents that saw a business opportunity and took it. You know, um, I still can't like order McDonald's because there are not enough branches near enough. But I could order from at least two pizza places, and I could get fried chicken and stuff like that.
Chinese food
I
and
could get Chinese. One place, yes. And nowadays they're more difficult. They're like, no, we don't have a driver, but uh, so
but
yeah,
they
no,
usually do. They
yes.
usually wind up finding the driver.
Usually, yeah. I mean, no, I mean, like from this year, it's been harder. It's been harder to get the driver.
Cat's grandpa had a produce wagon. That's awesome.
Yeah. When my mother was a little girl, there would be these gentlemen from Syria, and you could tell because of the clothes they wore and the big beard they had and stuff. And they would walk around selling textiles, and clothing and stuff. And they were like among the first people to give you credit, you know. And in a couple of generations, they became like the biggest textile stores in the country, But it all started with a guy with a little basket walking around and selling clothes.
Cat had something like that in her neighborhood where they sold like plates and things. Because when I heard it, I was like, "Oh, cool." I mean, I know my grandmother used to talk about plenty of door-to-door people because she was born in 1905, but I never heard about like dishware. Right? Um, it was the milkman and the iceman, and
But you guys had people that would sell like vacuum cleaners and
oh yeah,
encyclopedia
yeah,
sets and
that was
stuff like
later.
that.
That was later on though.
Yeah.
But like when she was young, right? And then she had like, for example, Walt Disney and Mr. Hall from Hallmark would walk around door to door trying to sell greeting cards right before the holidays.
Wow.
Um, the lady that started Russell Stover's Candy had like her kids going door to door selling candy.
I remember my mother always saying that the best greeting cards were Hallmark, and she wouldn't buy any other brand. She always
Well,
bought Hallmark.
let's hear.
Yep. I think she was probably uh as the British would say chuffed to bits to see that place with all the Hallmark um memorabilia and stuff. I think she would have enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, I was like, wait, what are we talking about? I got it now. Sorry, slow. Produce wagon. That's nice. My most well, the life I remember most recently, I was with somebody who I'm now related to again. I was not related to them at the time, but we were very, very close. And they had a wagon, like a traveling sales wagon. But that was like, oh golly, what would that have been? Like somewhere between the late 1700s and the first third of the 1800s. I'm not real sure.
So that would be like those people that would sell elixirs and medical stuff and
Mhm.
from
And
town
dresses
to town.
and tonics. You're right, like tonics. He called it. Remember, he called it the food show.
Right.
when he was little. Do you remember riding on my wagon for the food show? Well, I remember riding on your wagon. I've remembered that since I was born, but I didn't remember the food show. It's surreal to me that we died looking at each other too. Like that's crazy town. But I can close my eyes and remember that. I was going to ask what happened when the food wagon was done, the produce wagon. When he had the wagon, did he stay local? I would assume produce would have to be somewhat local. In the summer, that would be hard to keep like fresh. What if there's like a lot of ice on the truck or how that worked? Although produce is more than just leafy green crap.
Yeah, I mean, in those days before refrigerators, people used to buy huge blocks of ice and ship it on trains.
Oh, that's sweet. How did he have a hookup to the produce? Was he on a farm? Mm, family business. Produce men from way back. What is that from? That's from some movie.
It's funny, today I was watching a lot of clips from Finding Your Roots, and Danny Trejo, I think that's his name.
Oh yeah.
Uh, his his grandfather started working in the grocery as a little kid and ended up running the business, and he didn't know anything about that. So, it's so funny we're talking about something so similar. And I've been watching stuff like that all day.
Well, yeah. I think it's been a subject on your mind lately.
It certainly has. I mean, I eventually bit the bullet and I asked my father about, you know, questions about the past and stuff. And he texted me back and said, I will give you an answer in a couple of days.
Yay! Yay! Yeah, I saw that. I went, yay! Brr. So that's why you didn't get a direct answer from me.
Well, no, I got the yay. That was with me enough. But I'm sorry about the blur.
That's why I couldn't be like, oh, that's awesome. Oh, finally, blah, blah, blah. It was just like, oh, that's so great. I'm going to die.
I'm so happy
I'm
you didn't
still,
die.
well, yesterday, today, and tomorrow are the worst, the worst, the worst. Hold on.
The thing about family, yeah, they're usually not very forthcoming about things. Um, there's a lot about my family I don't know about.
Yes, she does. Sorry, I was hearing everything, but well, I mean, I will. I'm going to be gone soon, Miss Cat. Like my commitment was to myself, and in my like attempt to manifest sort of through certain things, to manifest strength through things, and to get over the, because I'm over the emotional, mental stuff, but to get through the physical stuff, right? It's been my intention to keep to the schedule, which is why I obsessively made all of those preview things, even more so than maybe I would have, because I'm trying to keep myself locked in,
Yeah, I
um,
think I
no
think you
matter
kept your
when.
contract with yourself.
So far, yeah, I have a few more minutes, and then I've hit my mark, my intended mark. And I don't. The good thing is, I think even though my hands are trembling, I don't think my voice is too bad, so that's all right. And also, I mean, sometimes this time of the month, um, I do get stronger readings because, like, I don't know if the veil is thinner or if they're closer because I need more help. Sam and the bird are interacting. That's what you're hearing in the background.
Did she get any new and exciting fruit?
Well, every day she gets her same fruit because she's pretty consistent. She ate a lot of
Yeah.
strawberries that I gave her this week, though, and I was surprised about that because usually she doesn't. But I put them in with her favorite, which is apple, so that might have had something to do with it. Sam is my husband's internet name. That says who. Somebody said who. Who dat? Sam. So you didn't move my mat back. There you go, Beaks. Yes, I know you're asking me. Yeah, he's been on the channel, but like it's been a few years now. It made him anxious. I think it might be different now. He's just less anxious in general. I was like, "What is that I'm hearing?" It's like, "Oh, he's singing to the next door bird." It's like, what am I hearing? Like, I'm hearing distorted sound. He's singing to the Broham over there.
The Broham.
I mean, I asked the rods, and they confirmed my feelings about it, right? Like, um, about gender. Um, but whether it's technical or if it's energetic, right, is irrelevant, right? He's in here, she's extremely femme energy, and in there, he's extremely masculine energy. It's just the way he does everything. Like he laughs. He laughs when he goes to the bathroom. Like I'm not saying all men are like that, right? But
No, but the
I got
men
a
in
bird.
your house are like
I got a bird with the
that.
protein. No, no, Sam's not like that. But the egg is.
The egg is for
The egg
sure.
was born with a protein. And I told you from the beginning, like, I used to think it was like environment, but Sam's not like that. Sam's not into that stuff. And anytime you've heard that, it's literally because our kid has indoctrinated us. It's not because either one of us were like that to begin with. Um, but the birdie, the new birdie, has the bro gene, like very distinctly has the bro gene.
Um,
Seriously, he goes to the bathroom and then he goes, like he's super proud. And whereas this person in here is all polite about it and like um
yeah.
needs to feather her nest, and he like struts around. I mean, she struts like a dinosaur, right? But like I didn't know what strutting was until he was in the house, and I was like, okay, man, holy hell. Um, he is that bird is so much bigger though too, which could be female or male in this type of bird, but it's just the energy too. And then so then with the rods, I kept was like I am struggling to call this bird a she, but I don't want to be disrespectful. What do you guys think? And they're like, boy, 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 boy. It's like, okay. That's what I was starting to feel like. Bro Gene. I recognized it. Saw it in my son. But like I've said for years since then, I want a daughter. I want a daughter. But then like I know full well that I'll get a daughter with the bigger bro gene than anyone else in the house. Like that's just how it's gonna work. I'll get a daughter with the bro gene. And that's what that'll be my payment for being so sexist. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, you think a girl is going to help you? Watch this."
So does the egg sort of recognize the brogene in the bird? Does he respond to it?
Well, because they're in quarantine and there's so much like hand sanitation involved. I think he only visits like twice a day because he doesn't like having to do all of the stuff, and I don't blame
Right.
him. But
Yeah. Well,
uh, but so next door, I feel bad just because like by this time Beaks was like literally sleeping on me, right? And I can't do that for the bird next door because they have to be quarantined apart for 30 days. I read about it and thought maybe that's overkill. And at the pet store they were saying no, it doesn't matter, and it was like I think it does based on everything I'm reading. My youngest has one sports, studied athletic training, works Home Depot, called her Freddie. See? Yeah. Yes. I mean, I don't know. Is he as gross as?
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, he has a sense of like who he could get away with stuff, after a while. And so if it if it doesn't amuse him and it upsets you more, he'll tone it down, right? But he definitely has
Okay, okay.
that quality.
Uh I think my kids is becoming more tempered as he ages, but oh my gosh, it was so prominent just from the very beginning. I was like, what is going on? You have a dad that I don't think would be considered femme, but closer to femme, closer to the middle, I guess, energetically speaking. He had two sisters, that's a big part of it. And
Who
a
you,
very,
who you, who, is
the
it
egg dad.
oh, the egg, oh, the egg's dad, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he had a very effeminate mother, too, like extremely feminine, Southern belle, you know. So, um, she just laughed and said, Southern belle, because they were not rich. I think that's why there's a. But I would say yes by the end. Like you already had those manners, and then, um, as life continued, you were able to be more relaxed financially. I think. Yeah, I know you're a hard worker though. Steph picked up Pocahontas boots. Yeah, yeah,
I mean, my mom raised my brother and me, and so I don't think there was any sort of social influence, at least in the house, for the bro gene. But he had it very, very early.
Well, I think his dad has it. I've met his dad on the other side,
Oh,
and his dad was there in the beginning.
I mean, his father used to enjoy annoying me when I was a little kid, and my his son does the same. So, yeah, they definitely they have that.
And so, like, he wasn't there like long, but I mean, he was there certainly long enough for them to become, simpatico with the like, ha 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 ha.
Well, he was up to age 3, I think, and he took that separation really, really badly. You know, he'd cry at night, and uh, he'd pull his own hair out of his head. You'd
Yeah.
see little tufts of hair in his hand. So, they were, I guess they were very, very close. Um, but so maybe the environmental stuff would have brushed off by then, but um,
No, I think there's a gene there too, but I do think had Sam been born with it, his sisters and his mothers would have really done a lot to put a damper on it. And then his dad's not
right,
like that, nor is his brother.
right.
Um, my brother is definitely not like that. I think he's always been way dandier than I am. Always. Like didn't want to touch the mud with his feet. Right? I was out like naked in the mud, like playing with the bugs, right? But like he didn't want to touch the mud with shoes on. And anything with involving like a single like dot of blood made him pass out.
It's weird because my brother is both the get dirty in the mud and the dandy type at the same time. It's strange, you know.
Well, I mean, your mom's dad was awfully dandy. I met him the other night.
Yeah, like one time I bought him a backpack and he absolutely refused to accept it. And I was like, why? Why don't you want it? He said, I will never be caught dead with something with such an ugly color, you know.
My,
It's just, it's
my,
just
my.
yeah, yeah. And he desperately needed that backpack at that time, huh? So I ended up keeping it.
I'm just thinking of his choice of outfit these days and thinking that's very
Yeah,
different.
it's a, uh,
I don't
yeah.
know. Maybe his outfit still is the right color. Color matters to me a lot. My house is painted. People always say, "You're so Mexican," because every house, every room in my house is a different bright color. But
Yeah, for a long time he was into dark colors. I don't know if it's a goth phase or something, but You know, if you got him anything that was cheery and bright, he would eschew it. Now, not so much. So I don't know.
How old was he then, though?
Well, that was about 10 years ago.
Oh,
He was in
okay.
his, yeah,
I was like, well, if he was a teenager, a lot of us did that, but
yeah. No, no. This is past. When he was a teenager, he was a rock dude. You know, had long hair, wore dark t-shirts and jeans, and wrote down lyrics in a book. You know, yeah.
poet rock god.
Yeah, but it wasn't his own lyrics. It would be the lyrics from songs that he liked, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
that surprises me a little bit, just because he's so smart. I thought he would have written down some of his stuff.
Between us, probably he may have, he just wouldn't share it with anybody, you know. So maybe there's a hidden part of his notebook that he didn't show anybody. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, one time he passed me a note with some very, very cryptic stuff on it. I think I may have shown it to you.
Hmm.
Um, and, had no
That was
idea.
not. That was in recent years,
Yeah, yeah, that was in recent years. So,
and that one was like, whoo, what happened there?
yeah,
Like if he's getting visitations, he's his energy is really blocking
Dis-
out the main message,
distorting it. Yeah.
or boy tripped on some mushrooms or something.
Well, either or is very possible with him. You know, I didn't mean to go on about my my brother, but yeah,
How long have we been friends? Like 5 years, right around there.
yeah.
We frequented a lot of the same places for many years before that. But yeah, we've been close for like 5 years. Getting really close to that, I think. Well, I think there's a soul thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think so too.
Also, like, the pandemic, the only thing people had to do was talk. I mean, I guess not everybody chose to do that, maybe, but yeah, I had these weird ass prophetic dreams about him before I met him for like almost a full year before we met. I had these weird dreams and visions. It was like they were warning me of some sort. I mean, they weren't saying natural disaster or anything like that, but like the way they were showing it, it was like, my God, you would think it was just going to be like Titan, Lord of the Sea, or something. We're definitely both chat room geeky. I don't have nearly as much computer knowledge as he does.
No, but you use the tools. You pick up on them instinctively, very fast. You know, much faster than I do. Like
That's the chat room
like
thing.
how you got held hold a StreamYard and how you're able to set up the things that you have
I think that that's because, though, you would have been like in the fine print reading how everything works to see if it's met your satisfactory levels
And
of
I would take
whatever.
5 years to do it.
Right,
No, that
right.
is true.
And I don't know that stuff, so I just have to pick based on like reviews of people and
And you jump in and you figure it out, And I'm still reading the fine print. That's our difference in personalities for sure.
yeah. I mean, I research a lot, but not like how you need
I,
to.
I tend to fall down more rabbit holes more frequently, I think.
Well, based on your astrological sign and other people I know with your astrological sign, that is in
Yeah.
exact right keeping. Ugh.
Yeah, I always read the manuals. I don't always follow them, but I definitely tend to read them.
Yeah, I do too, and then lose them. But I read the whole thing and then I lose the manual.
I think I have a similar problem to Charles Babbage. He would start something, think of something better, and then leave what he started. And he'd have about 4 or 5 unfinished projects,
Kat and I were talking about that the other day with ADHD.
You know, when a saner, more profitable inventor would have one fully working project. I'm like that. With my reading and my writing. So I have like 3 writing projects going on simultaneously, and I'm reading about 5 books at the same time.
I couldn't do that. I mean, part of it was my job, right? Because if I was reading something, it was either about the project I was doing or it was the project I was doing. And I
Yeah,
needed to be able to memorize every single second of that project. So if I had other stuff in my head, sometimes it became combative in there.
yeah.
I could read lots of supplemental stuff if it was historic or something like that, but it had to be thematic for a really long time anyway.
Yeah, it's a mixed thing because sometimes things atrophy and die out, and sometimes when you give it space and you come back to it it's alive again. You know, so it's weird.
What are you doing, Birdie? She's got some kind of project up on the top of her cage. I can't tell what she's doing. She keeps looking at me suspiciously. Like, don't watch me.
It's not finished yet, Mom.
Your mom did which thing, Cat? Multi books?
And I know I kind of have to do a deep dive on one thing. I have to choose something and go down into it, but I'm not sure yet, which one. Or
When was her birthday, Cat? I'm sure you've told me before, but I don't remember. Hmm.
October.
Scorpio. That's your woman, Joe.
Yeah, yeah, that's close to her birthday.
7 minutes left to reach my goal time. I'm so sorry. I love you both so much. Oh my God.
No, no, you answered the question right out of my head. I was wondering that, and you just answered it.
7 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, really? With whom?
Your country is so huge.
Wait, wait, she's moving there? I guess I thought that gentleman was going to come and watch out for her. Yeah, I imagine. That'd be so confusing too. So I assume his daughter in Phoenix? Well, I'm glad she's going to be with family. I'm glad of that, but I know that she loved where she lived, so I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know who it was. Somebody from the other side said something like fun socials, like fun games. So they must have picked a place where they have a pretty good socialization program. Oh, well, that's good. That's where Miss Amanda is.
Phoenix is probably hotter than here. I mean,
And we've been hotter than Phoenix almost every day this summer.
yeah,
Like we really want to win that battle.
yeah. I am disabused of the notion that being closer to the equator means it's hotter.
Me too.
Certainly isn't.
Also, the length of the days. I always thought closer to the equator meant longer days. Nope. Also
No,
meant
no. The days are more or less almost. They differ by about an hour. Coming close to Christmas time, the sun sets about an hour before it usually does in the summer. You know.
well, you know how it is here. It's like 4 hours before it is in the summer.
Yeah.
And then the summer, right? The light comes up before 6 a.m. and doesn't go down till well after 9
Yeah,
p.m. You know,
you all have some really nice summers. I mean, I wish we had so much more sunlight. But no, we get more or less, you know, 50-50 split almost in terms of day and night.
Yeah, she is there. Who knows? Maybe someday she'll be the house cleaner for the people at the assisted living. I don't know. That doesn't make sense. They have house cleaners, I'm sure. It's assisted living. Oh, well, good. Okay, at least it's a she's been. There's family there. That all sounds good. I almost feel sorry for that young man though, because he seemed so excited to be around her. But I mean, he couldn't if he couldn't stay there all the time, and that other person was abusive. Like it's so good she's out of there. Well, that's good. Why is that in quotes? You're talking about at the assisted living place? Ooh, do I have Zofran? Let's find out if I have Zofran. I do. I just don't know where it is.
Do you have what?
Zofran. Medicine.
Oh,
I have it. It does need it right now. I don't know. There's two people here, and I'm not in the other side of the chat. I think it might be my
but
old
one of
friend.
them would be me on the chat. You
Why
talking?
are you on the YouTube side also?
Yeah, I'm following Kat's stuff on the YouTube
Oh,
side.
okay, okay.
So
Because
it's
I just
me.
was curious. I wasn't sure because I was getting texts and notifications from my old friend Nathan, and I wondered. I wonder if
No,
he's number two.
no, no, it's not. It's just
Okay,
me.
that's all right. Good. Not that not that I'd be hating on Nathan for coming or whatever. His brother's
No,
in the hospital. He's not looking awesome.
yeah. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, me too. His brother's a lovely human. Joe stopped over. That's nice. Yeah, I know because you guys looked hard for that apartment. Like that's what I was thinking. Is that that felt like some BS? Okay, come on, Sofran. I know you're in individual packets, but come out, come out. Hold on one second. The egg is here.
Yes, you have a good night, and I'll see you on Friday.
We'll talk tomorrow, Kat, about pre-filming. I'm probably just gonna wipe this stream. I don't know. Maybe I'll leave it up. Like I did it. I made it through. Talk about manifesting some through some bullshit.
Congratulations.
Thanks. But yeah, I'll touch base with you tomorrow, Kat, because yeah, okay. Sending you a lot of love and light, and goodbye.